How's it going, guys? Now, before I start, I know what you're thinking. Thank God someone attractive is finally frequenting this channel. And you've got a point. Right, some of you might already know me, but for those of you who don't, so basically everyone apart from my grandma, my name is Matt and I'm from the channel Matt Does Fitness. I'm a powerlifter from the UK and I'm currently training for the British Championships next month. Now my total is just under £1,500 and that comprises of a £550 squat, a £575 deadlift, and a £365 bench press. However, where I differ from a lot of powerlifters is that I also enjoy bodybuilding, and that makes up quite a lot of my training. So what I'll typically do is one of my main 3 lifts first, and I'll follow that up with some isolation bodybuilding type stuff. Anyway, the link to my channel will be in the description, so I'd really appreciate it if you could head over, and if you like what you see, then please subscribe. Okay, so why am I here? I've been friends with Brandon for a long time now. We've hung out together, we've gone fishing, we've taken baths together, we've made out, all the things that guys do really. Now obviously, as you are probably aware, he's currently getting married and he's away having a good time on his honeymoon. And he asked me to make him a video. However, it's kind of weird. The way he worded it to me was, please can you make me an instructional video for while I'm away on my honeymoon. I obviously misinterpreted that because the video I made probably wasn't appropriate for YouTube. Turns out he wanted one he could put up on his channel. So that got kind of scrapped and I've made this video today. However, luckily for you guys, I've kept some select scenes from the original video, so enjoy.
Step 1. Set the mood by decorating the room and wearing something irresistible to the ladies. Ooh, perfect. Change the ambience by lighting a scented candle. Perhaps play some special music. Naughty. Raise your trousers up to your armpits. Higher. A little bit higher. Ooh, someone's done this before. A large banana and some spreadable butter.
Okay, so anyway, when Brandon asked me, I was kind of going over different ideas, like what kind of thing I can make for the channel. I was thinking maybe I could make like an instructional squat video. I was thinking maybe like tips how to get a bigger bench press. I was even thinking like maybe like breaking down the deadlift. But then I thought, you know what? Brandon's got a lot of really good powerlifting kind of instructional type videos up on his channel. He gets a lot of really strong guys in to talk about the kind of stuff. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to talk about the only thing that really matters when you go to a gym. How big are your biceps? Here we go. So when you're trying to get bigger biceps, a lot of the stuff you'll read will be about the 2 heads of the bicep. So your bicep is split into a long head and a short head. And a lot of the literature out there will say that this exercise is going to target your long head and this exercise is going to target your short head. Now, that's not always strictly true. It's not always, you don't always have to think about it like that. I mean, firstly, any bicep exercise you do will hit both heads. It may target one more so than the other, but you can't target specifically one head of your bicep. Just like you can't target specifically one part of your chest. Whatever you do with your bicep is going to hit both sides. However, you can put more of an emphasis on one side. On top of that, dependent on your biomechanics and the way your tendons and your insertions and stuff are set up, it's not one thing won't always hit the same bicep head for everyone. So the most important thing, in my opinion, is to mix it up. Do a variety of bicep exercises. So for example, a lot of people will say that if you keep your arms by your side for curls, that's going to hit one head, versus if you do, for example, preacher curls with your arm in a bit of shoulder flexion, that's going to hit another head. So if you make sure you hit a variety of those different exercises, then obviously you're covering all bases no matter what your mechanics are. With that said, obviously it's really important just in terms of that adaptation. If you just, a lot of people do is they'll pick maybe one, their favorite exercise that they really like, and they'll just do that religiously. Now, initially that's great, and you'll see loads of gains because of that, that progressive overload and stuff. However, over time, the adaptation is going to slow right down because obviously the stimulus that your body's getting is the same. Plus, it's going to be really boring. It's really boring. It's good to see, the strength gains, but in terms of going to the gym and doing the same thing all the time, it does get very repetitive. So it is important to mix it up. So what I would suggest is maybe pick 4 or 5 exercises that you like that cover a range of positions. So like I said, one with your arms by your side, maybe like an easy bar curl, and then one where your arms are up here. So like I said, maybe a preacher curl or some spider curls or whatever that might be. However, with all that said, what I thought I would do is run you through my favorite bicep exercise, my go-to exercise that although I do mix it up, this is the one I go to the most often, and I'll tell you why. Firstly, it's easy. I'm quite lazy. Like I said at the start, I always do my powerlifting stuff first. So when it gets to the bodybuilding portion of my workout, I'm generally quite tired and I want to get home. So I like things that are quite quick. Now, my favorite bicep exercise is quite simply a cable curl. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's obvious and that's pretty boring, and you know, some people give it kind of a bit of a bad rep. I think it's fantastic because it's easy to set up. That's the main thing. If you're trying to get a lot of work in and you're using like a W bar and you've got to keep putting plates off and putting collars on and moving around, it is an absolute hassle. And I find for me sometimes I'll just stick on the same weight because I can't be bothered to keep adjusting it around. With the cable, you can just keep obviously doing plates up and down. For drop sets, it's perfect. So what I'll typically do is I'll get an easy bar or a W bar, whatever you want to call it, the attachment on the cable. I'll set it to the lowest height on the machine, the pulley machine. And then I'll do 3 sets with a wide grip, I'll do 3 sets with a medium grip, and 3 sets with a narrow grip. Now what you're doing there is you're hitting both heads of the biceps, you're targeting both heads, but you're also giving yourself a different stimulus. So again, if you do the same thing all the time, although this is only one exercise, because you're doing those 3 different grips, it's something different. It's a different stimulus for your body to get used to. So what you'll do, like I said, you don't have to do, I mean, that's 9 sets in total. If you're in a rush, you could maybe just do 2 of each. And then in terms of the weight, I'll just kind of move up the rack maybe over every kind of couple of sets. So I'll set it up so that I'm doing probably somewhere between 8 and 12 reps, usually the higher end of that, because after my powerlifting stuff, that's obviously quite CNS taxing. I like to do it a little bit lighter when it gets to the bodybuilding stuff. I like to get a bit of volume in. So I'll do maybe 3 sets of kind of 10 to 12 with a wide grip. I'll drop the weight down and do again 3 sets of 10 to 12 with a regular grip, and then I'll go down a lighter again and go 3 sets of 10 to 12 with a really narrow grip. And for me personally, it's worked wonders. I've used this on and off for the best part of 2 years now, and in terms of my physique, I'd say my biceps are probably my strongest area, so I think it definitely works. However, it is important, like I said, to make sure you do a variety of things. Don't always do that exercise, but like I said, for me, that is a brilliant go-to bicep exercise. When you're tired, it's nice and easy to get it in. I mean, I've never been to a gym that hasn't got a pulley, so you're generally always going to find that. As long as you can get that. I mean, you can do it with a straight bar as well. It's not a disaster. Obviously, that easy bar, the W bar, does make it better to get a more kind of natural grip. But yeah, give it a go. Let me know what you think. I personally, like I said, I love it. I think it works really well, and I've been using it for a long time. Anyway, that, my friends, concludes the video. So I sincerely hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you, Brandon, so much for giving me this chance again. Like I said at the start, guys, if you don't mind, heading over to my channel. If you like what you see, give it a subscribe. I really, really appreciate that. And I will see you later.
Before we go, just a quick reminder, I'm partnered up with the National Academy of Sports Medicine, who's offering a 2-week free trial of their services. So if you've ever really wanted to get into personal training, this is a great opportunity for you to do so. Just go to myusatrainer.com/CampbellFitness to find out more information. All right.